It's a recommendation.
It's a recommendation.
What's the law you're creating? An ordinance is a law.
So the county has the BMPs defined. Is that correct?
Yes, they do. And what the recommendation of the Stormwater Commission was, is to follow all of their methodology except use different lower limits on when it would be required and when a fee in lieu of would be accepted.
Well, isn't that then we should be adopting best management practices? Isn't that what you're really asking the ordinance to be revised to reflect? And the fee for waiving those best management practices?
I'm hearing, Mr. Graff, that you're going to have the definition of best management practice in the ordinance that comes before us.
But how can you decide to waive it until you know what it is you're waiving and what the fee should be for waiving it?
Well, the fee was going to be the $3,000, and did you explain? You
But
explained the BMPs.
what's
to
that
the
based on? What is it
stormwater. Isn't it
what
based on the
practice are you
BMPs?
waiving?
The best management practices.
Which is what? Define it for me.
We've went through this like at least verbally, and it's like the paver bricks, right?
But
And it's
verbally,
like
you
don't
can't
get-
say to a builder, developer, whatever. It has to be in an ordinance fashion format.
Agreed, but I do know that Stormwater has been working on this for months,
And I
right?
grant that.
And that I imagine that you've been explaining what those BMPs are for
Right, and
months. Is that
my
correct?
intention was just to reference the county ordinance and the county technical manuals and not rewrite it all ourselves.
So you can't just reference it, you can
Right,
adopt it
right,
and
I
mimic
agree.
it in a new
Right.
ordinance here. You can adopt it word for word,
Right.
but you can't reference somebody else's statute.
Well, okay, I maybe misspoken then, that we would adopt it with, as amended by us.
But we would need those definitions within our paperwork. I would just bring in the definition of BMP with
I'll gladly
everything.
send you all that.
No, but I would put it in the ordinance that comes before us, and then it would go on our books. So when a developer is looking it up, they'll know, or whoever is doing the revisions, that they can go to our ordinance and see it. And I think that's what the mayor's
Certainly
point
we can
is,
do
and I
that.
agree. Okay. Alderman Shockey.
There still seems to be a lot of confusion here, and I would like to recommend we table this ordinance until not the next full council, but the next committee meeting, so that we understand better what's going on, and for time for Dave to give us the information that we're looking for, that he wants to have put in the ordinance.
I second it.
Okay, there's a motion and a second to table to the next committee meeting. And I believe the request is to ask for the definition of best management practices as defined by the county. Is that correct, Alderman Shockey?
Exactly. And it'll also give Alderman Kadala time to talk to our engineer and let him give the examples he's talking about for why one should be higher than the other. It is a little confusing, and I can see his viewpoint as well as the stormwater's viewpoint, so we need to straighten that out as well.
Alderman Cadella, you're part of the request. Are you in agreement?
Yes, I am. I can make myself more clear. I can do that before this comes back to us, yes.
Okay, there's a motion and a second to table, and it's non-negotiable, as I understand. So, all in favor?
Aye?
Point of order,
Okay.
Just-
I'm sorry, what?
just to clarify what you're doing. Now you're thoroughly confusing me. The motion failed. So you're tabling a failure to a committee? Don't you just want to add this to the next committee agenda?
Go ahead, ask the
To the,
motion.
well, yes, add it to the next committee agenda with these other things that you're talking about, with the other
I think that's
information.
the appropriate action, just to ask to add it to the next committee agenda. I don't think you can table something that failed,
There was a motion, a
Okay.
second motion on the floor though, Mayor.
which
the
was
mo-
voted down and failed to adopt this change.
Yeah,
So that issue was decided.
Wasn't even.
Right,
said.
it wasn't seconded. The second one wasn't seconded. Alderman, please?
Yeah, I just want to make a comment before we have the attorney drop an ordinance that we're not going to like, and then have him drop another one, wasting money. Right, I agree. We should bring this up at the committee and I want to know, well, they're not going to do this, so they're going to pay the $500 at $1,000. I'm still not sure what they're not going to do. All I know is I'm afraid that everybody's going to have native grasses in their backyard. I really want to be a little more clear before I vote.
I like native grass, though.
Madam Chairman?
Don't we have a vote, do we have a second on the vote to table?
Well, the mayor brought up that we don't need to table it, and we'll just move it to the next committee meeting, and Mr. Graff will have the best management practices definition for us, as well as Alderman Cadala is gonna,
Okay, I
Communicate
withdraw
on
my
it.
motion then.
on his items. Alderman Lewitton?
Well, this is a question to the mayor and to Mr. Graff. Unconfuse me. Can I see a copy of the City of Wooddale ordinances that we're revising?
Sure, it's the stormwater section of the zoning code.
Now, see, that's where I'm confused. I thought the mayor, Mr. Mayor, did you say that there wasn't anything that specifically says you must do this, must do this, must do this, unless you do what is in lieu of it, which is to pay cash?
I think what I was trying to say, best management practices is not in our code as it exists today. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Only what is in the county's code, which was largely adopted by us, which is the recommendation to do the best management practices, not the requirement.
Okay, so it looks like, I think everyone's clear on what we're gonna do here, but
I think that's still ambiguous. I think we wanted to see an ordinance that says you must do this to your roof so the water rolls this way. You must do this to your, well, you gave an example of sod. Take that example. So best practices would be, you would say 1A, sod, B, roof drainage, 3, swells, 4, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then you'd come forward with this to revise it. You can pay a don't do it fee. That's what in lieu means. So do we have to write that first? Because I don't like what you're saying. Not that you're saying it, but what you say is good, but I don't like what the truth is. Maybe I don't like that all we have is an ordinance as we follow the ordinance of the county. We should be writing what we're following.
And that's what we're saying, that we're putting this discussion off to next committee, so Mr. Graff can come back with the best management practices definitions from the county, so we can see exactly what it is.
And will we then copy that, what he writes, as an ordinance?
Yep, and we'll just put it in there as long as we agree on it.
Well, that makes sense.
Okay, good, okay. And secondly, I mean, if we don't want it to be under an acre, then we don't have to do that. And that's simple. So, Alderman Police, I mean, if you don't want native grass on a quarter-acre lot, we don't have to have that in there. So, yeah.
We ain't voting.
Okay, so I think we're, do you have any questions, Mr. Graff?
No.
Okay, so this item will be for future discussion at our next committee meeting. Item number 5, report and recommendation on the sidewalk program, pay request number 2, and it's indicated as a final here. Mr. Graff, do you have any comments on this before I make the motion?
No comments.
Okay, I make a motion to recommend that payment be made to John Neary Construction Company in the amount of $13,383.83 with current retainage at $8,922.56. Is there a second?
Second.
On the question.
You skipped the item.
Oh, I'm sorry, thank you. I'm talking sidewalks and I flipped it over. Thank you. It's double-sided. Okay. I make a motion to recommend that payment be made to G&M Cement Construction Incorporated in the amount of $6,934.93. This amount includes the current invoice plus the current retainage. Is there a second? On the question. Alderman Wesley.
I take it we will not have any retainer left on this project at all.
The work has been completed, so no
What if they,
retainage.
what if someone crack that they install? I thought we hold a retainer for something in reserve for a year.
No, we don't. We final out the projects, the contractor guarantees it for a year, but we do not hold money. We close out the contracts.
Do we have that in writing that the contractor is liable for a year on that project? Or is that just word of
It's part of
mouth?
the standard, it's part of the IDOT standard specs that we follow.
Do we have a policy saying that they are responsible?
We do, yes.
Any other questions? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item, Klefstad Lift Station Rehabilitation Pay Request Number 3. It is a partial. Mr. Kraft, do you have anything to add to this before I make the motion?
No, just that there's only one minor item we've been waiting on, and that's getting a gas meter. And well, the gas meter was just installed and getting the manufacturer of the generator to come out during the startup of it. And they've just been busy, and it's not going to be done until the week before Christmas. Other than that, the work is 100% complete.
Okay. Okay, I make a motion to recommend the payment be made to John Urich Construction Company in the amount of $13,383.83. And the retainage is $8,922.56. Is there a second? Second. On the question? All in favor?
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? Motion carries. Next item is the item number 7, Forest Creek Lift Station Standby Generator Contract Award. And Mr. Graff, do you care to add anything to this item?
Just add that this is paid for out of Special Service Area 12.
Okay. I'm going to make a motion that, that we recommend that Adlight Electric be awarded the contract in the amount of $48,952 to be paid out of the SSA number 12 fund. Is there a second?
Second.
On the question. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Last item is that, actually, are there any items for future meetings? No items for future meetings. I make a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.